to ITC Asia's unfiltered conversation from Baht to Bytes, the future of Thai insurance. This is part one of our two-part series where we explore how Thailand 4.0 and digital innovation in general are transforming the insurance industry. I'm Tricia, Director of ITC Asia, and I'm delighted to be joined by three fantastic guests. We have Juan Mazzini, Head of Celent, bringing a regional view of market maturity and innovation. We have Andrew Nisbet, Country President from Chubb Thailand, as well as Rosalia Gitau, CEO of Bixie, a startup focusing on making insurance more inclusive and accessible, especially for women. But before we start, let's do a quick round of introduction by the speakers themselves. Juan, maybe let's start from you.
Well, thank you very much. It's a privilege to be here, accompanied by these distinguished colleagues. I've been in the industry for since I was 18. I'm 53. I love everything that has to do with technology and its application in financial services. And I lead an amazing group of very smart people in Celent, advising financial services institutions and vendors in anything that has to do with the practical application of technology.
Andrew, maybe we can have you next.
Yeah, thanks, Tricia, for having me. And great to be on here with the other panelists. My name's Andrew Nisbet, and I'm the country president for Chubb Thailand, which is our non-life business here in Thailand. I've been in the insurance industry over 25 years, almost 20 of those with Chubb across New Zealand, Australia, Japan, the Eurasia Africa region, and the last sort of 6 years in Thailand. So I've seen a lot of the digital transformation in the business over the last 20 years and look forward to discussing that with everyone today.
Thank you. Rosalia?
Hi, thanks so much for having me, Tricia. My name is Rosalia Gitau, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Bixie. We are an education platform, so financial literacy, and product platform, so learning and doing. Part of the retail products that we try to provide for our end users are to include them into the world of finance and insurance. So that's a really big part of our ethos. We focus a lot on women, but we also focus on low-income people. We're headquartered in Singapore with our largest operations in the Philippines, where we are currently providing really an amazing suite of disaster-related insurance financing with our global partners. So we're really excited to learn more from my fellow colleagues here and hopefully find more exciting retail products that we can bring to our end users.
Thank you for the introduction. So let's dive straight in. To set the scene, let's start with the bigger picture. Juan, from your research across ASEAN, how does Thailand compare in terms of digital maturity and consumer readiness? Are Thai consumers embracing digital insurance at the same pace as their neighbors?
Yeah, thanks for that question. Thailand, the insurance sector is, in my opinion, undergoing a significant transformation towards digital maturity. And this can be highlighted by the emergence of fully digital insurance companies like Rujai Insurance, which I think launched early last year. And this shift emphasizes the importance of digital distribution channels for improving the consumer engagement and the service delivery. We're also seeing innovative collaborations between insurance companies and other retail providers, case of Dibaya Insurance and Grab in Thailand. In terms of consumer readiness, I see it also evolving. There's a growing preference for purchasing insurance products through digital channels. Global Data, which is our parent company, in a recent survey, they found out that many consumers, particularly those aged 55 to 64, are open to engaging with financial services online. And however, I mean, it's not. I don't think it's news, but the market still faces challenges, particularly in health insurance, where penetration rates are significantly lower than in more developed markets, like, for example, Taiwan. So when compared to its Asian neighbors, Thailand insurance market shows promise, but still has room for growth, in my opinion. The current penetration rate is of around 38% for insurance, suggests that there is potential for expansion. As I said, especially in health, where we see that demand is starting to increase because of awareness around the health issues and the well-being. And we also see several Thai insurance companies pursuing digital initiatives to enhance consumer engagement. For example, Thai Life Insurance established a digital transformation steering committee and introduced various electronic systems for applications, for payments and claims. AIA Group has launched a digital wellness platform and robot Bytes services to improve customer engagement. So I think, Tricia, in conclusion, Thailand insurance market is making strides in digital transformation and consumer awareness. It still lags behind some Asian countries in overall market maturity and penetration rates, but continued technological advancement and supportive government policies, I think, will be crucial in shaping the future of Thailand's insurance sector.
Thank you. I think that's fascinating. I think especially when we think about the speed of digital adoption, and technology has clearly been the catalyst. I think, Andrew, let's start with you. In your Thai operations, how are data and automation reshaping underwriting, claims, or even the way you engage with customers? Are you finding new efficiencies or, new product possibilities?
Yeah, I think firstly, I agree with a lot of what Juan just mentioned about the market readiness, right? I mean, Thailand is highly digitized, over 70% of the population with smartphones, over 90% of the population with access to the internet, very high engagement with digital first platforms, be it the e-commerce providers, mobility, the digital, the whole banking sector and how that's digitized, right? But digital insurance sales remain a very low proportion of the market. And when I say digital, I mean truly end-to-end without human intervention. And I think even some of the digital first insurance companies would admit a lot of their journeys actually start online but close offline. So we're investing a lot and raising awareness, and I don't think we're laggards at all about trying to push digital adoption. But customers still find insurance a confusing product and still like to talk to somebody to get some advice, right? Now, when we talk about data and automation, I mean, from my perspective, from Chubb's perspective, data is the game. Insurance companies are data companies. We collect and we hold vast amounts of data on our customers and on loss events. And now with the advances in technology, we can really start to supplement that data with external data sources to enrich our understanding, conceptualize and price risk, which is massive for us. And this really helps us innovate and develop new products, simplify the information requirements we have to underwrite risk, which ultimately solves customer pain points. No one likes to fill in these long application forms and get confused by terminology. So the less information we have to ask for customers, the better. And what's particularly powerful, particularly in the digital age, is where we can really co-create with partners on products and services that specifically address customer pain points, right? So data really is the game. When we talk about automation, to me, that's really what gets unlocked when you have your data stored in an accessible and organized way with relevant connections, as I was mentioning, to external data sources and partners. Then it really becomes really powerful for servicing customers in a great way. So service, in my opinion, is the arms race of insurance, right? Particularly in markets like Thailand, where we still have a file and approved regulatory environment, and we have tariff products which sort of limit the flexibility insurance companies have to differentiate in product. Not impossible, we still do that, but service is open to the way in which we can provide it. So the more that we can automate processes to speed up service for customers, the better. And at Chubb, we do things like, we have a cashless hospital portal. So when a customer of ours goes into a hospital, the hospital can immediately validate the person's got a policy, see their coverage, advise the customer on what's covered, not covered, and treat them in a cashless way by direct billing us, right? So it's completely seamless for the customer. Other examples are with our ride cover product with Grab. where if your grab doesn't turn up in time, the customer doesn't need to do anything. We know from the data a claim's been triggered, and we can serve a voucher directly into the customer's wallet on the app. The list goes on and on. You think about windscreen damage and auto claims, we can straight through process on those. So there's still a huge amount of opportunity to do in that area. It's big potential as new technology opens up to service customers really 24/7, 365. In the past, you needed to put staff on to do that. Now, in a lot of ways, you can service customers for most of their needs with technology and automation, and then just have humans contact them for really complex matters.
Thank you. And Rosalia, I think your story is quite different. I think while large insurers focus on skill and efficiency, Bixie is reimagining accessibility. I think you mentioned a little bit earlier, but your platform has a strong focus on empowering women and reaching digital natives. Can you share how you're using technology to simplify insurance and what that means for people who may have felt excluded from traditional offerings?
So I think what's really interesting is both Juan and Andrew kind of pointed out this accessibility issue. And whilst a lot of that will be addressed with technology, there are still these behavioral pain points that even technology, even as we developed an app, even that can't quite get over the line. So we really see ourselves as being that knowledgeable bridge that helps brings a new market to large insurers or financial retail investors, and then also brings people who really want to access these things and have the means to, a way for them to feel like they can trust. So I think I kind of want to talk about our project in the Philippines because I think it's a really good example. So our project in the Philippines is really, we're working with very low-income people to insure them with microinsurance for disasters. We are contracted directly through the United Nations and with the government. So they provide us with, a list of people, and then we work with licensed insurance providers to provide them with this insurance. But again, before we even get to that stage of just like, okay, here's your insurance, there are these things that we need to do to address this behavior, because we don't just want them to get the insurance, we want them to renew it later. So we have to do things like addressing perception biases, simplifying and personalizing messages, emphasizing tangible and immediate benefits, and doing that thing of building trust. Because as Andrew noted, like a computer can only do so much. I need to know that somebody's on the other line when my house burns down, and I can actually call a real human being to do that. And so much of building that trust is obviously simplifying that claims process, making it kind of really automatic, which I think microinsurance does really well. But at the end of the day, no matter what, we do need a real human being at the end. So much of what we do is like, first we do that education, and addressing those targeted behavioral changes. But we also accommodate for that community trust element, which is really critical for millennials, which, by the way, millennials are now 44 years old. So, we do that. We're an older group, but we're a sizable group. So we do a lot of that work that then helps, okay, you guys focus on your financial products, you focus on living your lives. Let's do a little bit of that together. Surprisingly, it's not that much effort. Most of it is leveraged by technology. And we've been really successful at converting. So obviously that first insurance, the conversion is we gamify on our app. People have to get enough points, then they unlock their insurance. But what happens when their coverage is over? Are they coming back? And that's when we've really seen our conversion be really successful. Over 70% of people, and these are usually low-income people, will come back and buy the product next time. But there's so much work that goes into that. And most of that work is high touch. That's a particular feature of women in terms of building trust, but also a particular feature of people who are financially included, because trust for institutions is very low, and fraud and scams are very high. So doing a lot of that work is really important.
Thank you. And I think one theme that keeps coming up in Asia is collaboration between established insurers and startups. I think, Juan, from your vantage point, what collaboration models are actually working? Is it investment, co-creation, distribution partnerships, and what makes them succeed?
Well, let me start by saying that I think Andrew could give a lot of examples on this because Chubb is one of the leading organizations in terms of working on that collaboration and bringing new products and new business models to the market. The fact that I am not mentioning Chubb in my responses is because Andrew is here. I don't want to steal his thunder. Otherwise, in any other situation, I would be putting Chubb as an example in many of the questions that you're asking me today. But having said that, in Asia, the collaboration models that we're seeing between traditional insurers and startups, well, first, we see that this is gaining momentum, right? So this is real. It is tangible. Again, you see a lot of partnerships going to market, and as you said, to bring it at scale, but also to make it accessible and affordable, I would say, because much of those collaborations have to do with embedding insurance in the experience of your partners. Andrew mentioned used the word co-creation, and that it has never been more true. So these are the type of partnerships where you cannot just take the products you've always sold and just push them through your distribution. This requires co-creating using the data of the clients that is in hands of your partner to create that product and that experience that is tailored to the client needs. What is being used or models that are helping shape these partnerships have to do with using structured frameworks to define who's your best partner, aligning the mutual benefits between the parties, and the integration of innovative technologies. So talking about frameworks, think about institutions using a structured engagement framework to ensure that any startup innovations will align with their core strategies. So we're not pursuing innovation or partnerships just because the technology is cool. There is an alignment with the core strategies of the organization. The other thing is it's all about collaboration. It's there is some attempts to compete, and as Andrew was alluding to, yeah, of course, there are new insurance companies that try to come to market just digitally, but that doesn't work. So you still need the traditional channels or the combination, the hybrid. I think Gabriel Lázaro from Chubb always uses the term phygital, right? The combination of physical and digital. The other thing is open innovation programs. We're seeing more and more companies that put in place these programs for better creating the culture internally, but also enabling that open collaboration. Technology ecosystems that come together. Think also about the different hubs. So that Celent is part of MIA Hub. That's a not-for-profit organization that I helped found, connecting the global insurtech ecosystem. Those hubs, and you can InsurTech Asia. There are many. ITC Asia itself being an important actor there that brings together, that is also very, very important. And last but not least, I would say the regulatory influence, because regulation is not just to police the different stakeholders and ensuring that the system is resilient, but also can have a very positive effect in enabling innovation, this type of innovation where the collaboration between new players and established players can come to reality. This excites me a lot. I have more to share, but I want to keep it short so we don't exceed the time of this podcast.
Thank you. And I think having to go into the corporate side, and Drew, when you look for startup partners, what do you really value? Is it speed, niche expertise, customer engagement models, and how do you make sure the partnership aligns, I guess, culturally, not just commercially?
Yeah, it's a good question, right? And I guess when we look at startups, firstly we think about, well, what's their value proposition, right? And can they really engage and capture a big audience? And is there an affinity with insurance, right? Does it add because it's solving a problem, or there's an inherent need there? So, startups in finance and loan provisions, or e-commerce, or delivery and mobility, they're sort of attractive to us. New digital banks, which are coming to market, because they create a win-win-win, right? We create ancillary revenue for the startup. We give real benefit to the customers, and obviously the insurance company gets to distribute, insurance. And culturally, you raise a good point. I mean, we're a large multinational organization in 54 countries and territories around the world. But at Chubb, we really try and keep that entrepreneurial spirit, right? And what we look for is shared vision. Juan mentioned it again. I'll mention it as well. Just this co-creation, the ability that they're not just trying to plug insurance in. They really have a vested interest in building that and co-creating and challenging us. And I wouldn't just link startups to distribution, right? The other thing that we look for right now, obviously, is startups that can help us solve our own problems in a cost-effective way. So we talked before about automation. We can talk about AI and all the use cases that we have for AI across the business. So we also look for those types of partners and startups that can help us, because they've already solved for a problem that we have, and can help us drive that better customer experience, both for our staff and for the end customers. And again, so those people that are looking at insurance have a good understanding of processes and can help resolve some of the critical pain points. We love to engage with those types of startups as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Rosalia, partnerships can sometimes feel a bit unequal. You've been on the ground